Now, it may be a bit too early to be looking at June 1st, which is the beginning of the hurricane season, but the hurricane forecasters have already issued their first look at what will 2018 hold. And so far, it seems as though it likely be slightly above average, a bit more active, but not as active as it was last year. Forecasters at the Colorado State University in the US expect 14 named storms. 7 of those could be hurricanes, and 3 of those could be major hurricanes. But obviously, the total amount of energy that you usually get for a hurricane season, well, it could also be the slightly more than average. But what does it mean? Obviously, for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, we'll have to wait until the other forecasts come out closer to the time. But for the rest of our dry season through April and May, it is set to be as dry as usual, near normal rainfall for the most part. But as you notice, as you go through the dry season, there will likely be less water available with lower water levels and likely see water stress as well. And also there's a possibility of a few week-long dry spells, as many as 2 is likely. We could be seeing less than 1 milliliter for the day over a week or 2. Now, looking right now, there is a bit of moisture around. It is basically being blown in by some high pressure, so we could be seeing some of that trailing from Barbados, eventually getting the 2 parts of St. Vincent, getting down towards Grenada as well as it goes through tomorrow, then eventually pushing into Trinidad and Tobago. You see the green colors there. That's the likelihood of us seeing some of that moisture as you go through Thursday, and then eventually beginning to clear through Friday. So, through tonight then, across Tobago, it's mostly clear. There's a couple of showers, as usual for this time of the year. And you will also notice lots of sunshine through Wednesday morning and continuing into the afternoon, for the most part, across northern areas. But as I said, you'll be watching that moisture begin to push through from Wednesday night and going into Thursday morning. Similarly, for Trinidad, a mostly fair, settled night. A couple of brief showers are possible, attracted to the hillsides after midnight. As you go through the day, you'll notice also that the daytime heating will likely trigger a few of those early morning showers, then as you go into mid-morning and into the afternoon. But overall, most of those showers should be on the light to moderate side. For San Fernando, Rio Claro, you notice a mostly cloudy start here, and then as you go through the afternoon, there's just a possibility of a couple of those clouds developing closer towards the western coastline. But again, because the upper atmosphere is dry, not likely to see many of those showers. So temperature-wise, looking at a low of 22 degrees Celsius by night, 32 degrees Celsius by day for Trinidad, 30 degrees Celsius for Tobago. And we talk about that trough, it will likely be impacting us through Thursday. And then on Friday, we come out of that with lots of sunshine for both Tobago and Trinidad as we start our weekend. Now, for those heading out, sailors particularly, notice those fresh easterly winds of 20 knots, with the possibility of some whitecaps around, especially offshore in the Atlantic, looking at 2 to 2.5 meters out in the Atlantic, close to 2 meters through the Caribbean. And obviously, that is all courtesy of those freshening winds. Now, the winds are also being a factor further across the eastern Caribbean, have been pushing in some brisk showers from time to time, but also some rough spells across there at sea. Out towards the Greater Antilles, we do have a bit of cloudiness as well, especially for Kingston, Jamaica, as well as for Havana, possibly struggling to get past 31 degrees Celsius there under a few showers. There will also be a few showers, especially for St. Lucia. Castries are there under a lot more cloudiness, but there will be most of the showers will be on the eastern coastline of St. Lucia, and some of that will trail into Barbados as well, and maybe a bit of cloudiness for St. Vincent, 30 degrees Celsius likely in Kingstown tomorrow. So that's your weather, and that's it from me.